I'm Angela in Los Angeles. I'm a native New Yorker. People know that because I talk about it all the time. But I love LA. I feel like a lot of what I do is a love letter to LA. And so I take people along the ride with me. Come discover the best cafe in Los Feliz. You're not buying a home, you're buying a community. So I talk about that all the time. And so those are the clients that come to me, the ones that are looking for that, the ones that are looking for a personal touch in real estate. Not the ones necessarily that do the stats and that do the numbers, although I've had those, and that's a fun movie when they come out with very specific things. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out who your target audience is, who your client is, and then you have to create content operating from that point, right? Again, social media is the most organic, cost-effective, free, really. If you have a camera person or an editor, that's what you're paying for. But truly, to utilize these platforms, it's all free. We should have no excuse not to be on social media every single day, multiple times a day. And the reality is, because all these platforms are now know that we have to be on them, they're making money. So most of the people that follow you, I have a little bit over 6,000 followers. Only like 5 to 10% of my followers actually see my content. So you have to post often. In fact, don't be scared to post the same thing twice, because most of the people that follow you didn't even see it the first time. Yes?
Do you sponsor your posts very often?
That's a good question. So sponsored post, forget a sponsored post, right? You're talking about ads, two very different things. Are you referring to Facebook?
You're right. I just created an ad in Facebook for a property, and I boosted the post on Instagram to see what would.
What did you? I'm curious. What did you find with that? What were your results?
I got nothing from Facebook, and a lot of interaction from people who follow me on Instagram that I never even knew followed me.
Okay, so essentially, boosting on Instagram creates that. It makes it so that it makes it a wider audience to see your stuff. You could have achieved that with good hashtags, to be honest. And so there's different ways of creating content and optimizing it. But first of all, the content has to be good. Let's go to the content, right?
The boomers who control a huge percent of the inventory.
The sellers, yeah.
On Facebook.
Yes.
On Facebook.
Yes.
May not be on.
Absolutely. And not just Facebook. TikTok. Well, that's another one. Oh, we'll get to TikTok. Yeah, I mean, everyone's on TikTok right now. Everyone's on TikTok.
Also, like, finding your audience.
It's finding your audience, finding your voice. Once you find your brand, you can take that brand and adapt it to whatever platform you want, right? Some people are a little bit more in the, strategic game per se, and you would be better in LinkedIn, right? Post articles, go become the relocation guru on LinkedIn. There's different things you can do in different platforms. I left out Pinterest, but Pinterest is huge. I know a lot of people that are making money on Pinterest because think about it. When do people go to Pinterest? So there is no wrong platform if you're going to use it. Twitter now, controversial. It's a whole thing. It's on fire, but maybe it's a good thing because now they have videos, which they didn't have before. So that's going to add another layer of things to do. YouTube has shorts. I would recommend everyone do shorts immediately. Like, they're boosting shorts like no one's business. They get millions of views with very little work that you have to do. It's the latest of all these platforms, because YouTube was the only one that didn't have short-term, the Dominican comes up, short-term video was YouTube, and now it has it because it's got to compete with all the other ones. Short-term video is your friend. Yes, long-term video is important, especially for SEO. When people go search for things, YouTube comes up number one. But I'll tell you what, I still don't do YouTube stuff. I mean, I post it when I remember. But my short-term videos have gotten pretty good. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And it's because I keep doing them. So with short-term video, you can practice a lot of that. You can use them as long as it's 30 seconds or less. And you shouldn't be posting on Instagram Reels anything over 30 seconds. No one will watch it. In fact, anything under 20 seconds is pushing it. It's pushing it. Anything over 20 seconds on Reels is pushing it. Yes. It's fine because people are not following you everywhere. The same person's not following you all three. That's another mistake that people are like, follow me on TikTok. Why? You're posting the same thing on TikTok. Why would I possibly follow you? Unless you're going to post something different, and that's a good bait. You can go and slice a video in a different way, and then put it on TikTok and say, hey, listen, if you want to go see the other version of this, go to TikTok. But give them something new. Otherwise, why would people go to different platforms to see the same thing? I think that's a big mistake that we all make, that we're just like, I posted the same thing. I prefer Instagram over all of them. And this is why. You can create community on Instagram. You cannot really create community in any of these other ones. Facebook you can, and Facebook essentially is a Google of social media, right? You can create groups. You can, what is that? Marketplace. You can post your listings on Marketplace. The leads are not the greatest, but if you are starting as an agent and you don't have any listings, ask someone in your brokerage if you can share some of their listings and post it as your own. You will get leads. A lot of work, but you will get them. So that's something. Facebook operates like a social media Google, if you will.
Just a real question about the legality of like your cafe. Obviously, you talk to them about posting it.
Yeah,
do you know what it is with regards to just like, walking down a street? I know you guys gave that as an example of like, this is my favorite street in Town Park.
Yeah.
What is the legality of like shooting someone's home or putting pictures up? I mean, is there legality around that? Or
no, as long as you're not making any money out of this, right? So you're not selling the rights to these things. This is you walking down the street showing a house. You're fine. Yes.
You should ask. You should ask. Yes. If you don't ask, at least say who the listing agent is.
Yes.
Tag them
Say,
of the post.
Listed by,
Yeah.
Dave Robles, whoever the listing agent is. Tag them in it.
Always right. Legally, you have to. So let's say that's another thing. As a new agent, let's say you don't have your own listings. That's okay. Some of the most beautiful accounts out there, I follow 2 of them, that's not, half of them, they're not their listings, but you wouldn't know, right? Beautiful, gorgeous Spanish homes. Post it. Do your own write-up if you want. Copy their write-up. But you absolutely must, in the copy, give them credit that it's not your listing. They can sue you otherwise. That's like a big deal. So yeah, you must say who the listings are. You don't have to tag them, but it has to be a disclosure. Huh? Correct. So you must put it in there. And to be safer, like use your own brokerages, because at the end of the day, it's not your listing, it's your broker's listing. And so going back to all this kind of stuff, I think I cannot say it enough that you are the brand. Your brokerage is great, but your brokerage is not the brand. We need to remove ourselves from this old mentality that like, I'm in KW, I'm in the agency, I'm whatever, and then it's me. It's absolutely not. Your clients don't care who you're with. They care about you. And who are you to them, right? And so it's figuring out exactly, like, maybe one assignment that I would say all of you should do is like write down 5 words to describe you. And then operate within those 5 words. Friendly, professional, tidy, like whatever it is, figure that out and then create a brand around that. And what are people, in fact, ask people around you, how do you see me? Because maybe put that on a wider pedestal, or fix some things that you might not want people to see you as. But I would say that's a good rule of thumb when it's coming to figuring out who you are as a brand in social media. And make sure it looks good. Don't post things. If the video came out bad, I'm sorry, don't post it. I know a lot of people are like, post. No, don't. Especially these days where our camera phones are amazing. Like, we have no excuse to be posting these videos that are just like Blair Witch Project. Like, that is not okay. Let's not do it. No, because people are also seeing how it is that you are. What is your business card to the world? If your business card to the world is shaky, like, why would I want to work with you when there's so many other agents? And it goes back to that, to taking up space, right? Like, you are the head of that channel. It is your channel. You are CNN in your social media platform, right? So operate that way. And so what would you post, right? Like, okay, what do I post? I say that you do 3 things in social media. You educate, you entertain, you inspire. There's a lot of things that go in between those things, but for the most part, I would say those are the big ones. Don't just educate, don't just entertain, and don't just inspire, because it's going to get old and people are just going to be over you. The educational ones are great, but for the most part, you're not going to get any new followers if all you're posting is about like interest rates and catastrophizing the market. In fact, I would counsel that you stop doing that. There's so many videos about interest rates. At the end of the day, clients are looking at you to buy for long term. They don't care. It's not irrelevant. It's irrelevant to them in that moment, that beginning conversation. So if all your content is about how messed up the market is, you're scaring away everyone. And I see a lot of agents only posting about negative stuff. Get away from that. I got 3 new clients last week from social media. I don't post catastrophe. If you're going to give them bad news, you give them good news with it. Yeah, I did 1 post this week. What are the pros? What are the cons of buying right now? Pros, 1 con. Interest rates are higher. That's it. End of conversation. And so I would say do a lot of that stuff. Seek to be the authority and the go-to real estate professional. I've only been in the business, it's going to be 4 years now. But I do get referrals from social media because a lot of the content that I create It's also educational content. So other agents, not in the city, are like, wait, she knows what she's talking about. They see my traction. They see how much people communicate with me and how much people like me. They're like, let me give it to her. So you have to understand that your social media is not just for clients. It's also for referrals.
Time do you spend communicating on Instagram?
A lot.
Like hours in your day.
Yeah.
Like do you have an assistant? How do you go to inspections, write offers?
Hey, so 5 hours? Here's the thing.
And then communicate.
Oh, I love this question, right? Because back to what Dave said earlier, pick 3 things and go hard on those 3 things. This is one of my one things. Open houses are my other thing. Whenever I can talk to people, it's I'm there.
2 hours? Do you do like Brian Buffini and like have like time blocking your hours to communicate with your?
It's 2023 goals right there. 2023 goals. I am not that organized.
Okay.
I wish I was. What I'm really good at is being creative. Before I did real estate, I ran my own agency. I had PR agency. I had marketing agency. Not marketing, PR. So it's, so it's a lot of it is messaging. So when you read my stuff, you can tell, like, I'm a message person. Same thing. I don't post a review. I don't just post a review. I talk about the person that I sold it to and what they were wearing and like how they were feeling. So like there's all this kind of stuff there. And yes, they're a little bit longer, but that's also SEO. When people go search for you, by the way, Instagram pops up. So also make sure that on your title, it should say, Susan Smith, realtor, on your title, because when they Google you, that comes up. I should have included a screenshot of them. That's another thing. That's what I was just saying. Connect with storytelling, not selling. We all know those agents that all they do is sell. If all you're posting is just listed and just sold, no one cares. It's kind of flashy, honestly. Yeah, you sold 3 houses this month. What does that have to do with me? Your mom and your sister are excited, but like me as a client, I don't care. So, like post things that people are going to care about. Talk about that neighborhood bagel shop. People care about community. People care about what you are doing for the community. And who are you as a pillar in that community? That's important. Diversify your content. Multi-channel, multi-format. So we were talking about before. Shoot one video, slice it in different ways, and post it in different programs. And maybe not the same day. Yes, go ahead. No, I love this.
Do you have like content days where you like do several videos and then
we did 12 3 days ago. 4 days ago.
Okay. And then you spread it out. So yeah, that goes up to 3 days.
Yeah. So I would say batch your content. I don't do scripts anymore because when I first started, it was like, wait, I remember, like I have to, and then you get really nervous because you have to hit every word in your head. So now I just do bullet points. I'm like, this is kind of what I want to talk about, and we're just going to do it. I'm going to have a conversation. You know your stuff. We forget, you know your stuff, so just talk about what you know. Sometimes. Depends where I drag them for the day.
Do you have someone that's filming you?
He films me.
So it's like, so he follows you around and just...
It depends. Yeah. So here's the thing. What I do is I record with him twice a month. So I also do a lot of things in the street. One of my viral videos was, it's really funny. Me in Los Feliz Boulevard, stopping people. Hey, what's your favorite neighborhood? Like literally stopping people. And I asked this couple, hey, like, what are your names? And they tell me their names. They look very hipster on camera, which is important because the comments were really mean. So I interviewed this couple, and they're very sweet. They talk to me. I'm like, oh, Los Feliz. Of course, Los Feliz. So, of course, I tag everything Los Feliz Council, and they all reposted it because Los Feliz is the best neighborhood, according to these 2 people walking around Los Feliz. Huh? Well, if you know Los Feliz, you know parking. So anyway, so, they're telling me how much they love Los Feliz, and then I'm like, okay, word association. I'll tell you a neighborhood. You give me a word. Downtown. Like, oh, live music. I thought they were going to say something bad, but that's part of it. Live music. I say Silver Lake, expensive. Yeah. I said, what else did I say? Oh, I said, Venice. And the guy's like, I've never been to Venice. Oh my God, you have to. So it turns into this like neighborhood conversation, right? My words are Los Angeles. So I have a box. I talk about real estate, I talk about LA, and I talk about community. Fits into my box. Community. So as long as you have a box in which your content belongs to, ask yourself every time you're going to create a video, and get crafty, get fun, because that's what moves the algorithm too. People don't just want to watch real estate stuff. I mean, neighborhood is related to real estate, so you have to think about it in that term. But anyway, that one got 30,000 views, and people were like all over. Some people were like, oh, that hipster, he didn't shower. Like, it gets mean. And so you have to be like, be nice. So, That's a plus and negatives of going viral on social media. Yes.
Taking videos half the battle, but then
Yes.
the technical stuff of like editing and like all of that, do you do that?
Girl, I do not. No, I hire someone. Here's one thing. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you know how to do well. Editing a video will take you 10 times longer than it's going to take him. And it's going to cost you more money because you could be selling, you could be talking to clients, you could be door knocking while he's doing what he's doing. And he, all that is, for example, we did 12 videos. But I'm very clear in my vision. This is how we cut it. This is what I see. This is kind of like, I don't like this music. Let's do a trend. Also, there's apps that shows you what music is trending. Use the trending music. That'll drive your video.
So use a microphone if you can. I recommend a Rode too. I call it a Rode.
Are you a Ruth Caruth guy?
Yes,
okay.
I love that.
Yeah, that's why.
Rick Caruth. He's a great trainer.
And then what were you just talking about? I was going to say something.
So yeah, microphone. She was talking about editing.
Believe it or not, because I had no experience. Like I literally just started on social media like 30 days ago. And I was overwhelmed as can be.
It is overwhelming.
Yes, but you'd be surprised what you can do. But if you want a good, easy edit, CapCut.
There's also like Fiverr. You can get someone that edits for like $5 an hour. Like you can get 2 videos edited for $20. Like there's ways of doing this where it's cheap. You don't have to hire someone monthly per se. But the way I do is I batch content. One really good way of finding out what to do, go to Google. Real estate, Los Angeles, see what else it fills it up with. See what people are asking, see what people are searching. Also look at your inbox. How many questions do people ask you on a daily basis? Hey, when is escrow open? Hey, those are the questions you need to be answering. The questions your clients have asked you, those are the questions you need to be answering. Yes.
If you're making a bunch of content at once, what's the best program to maybe to auto post it so that you're not...
Don't. That's something thank you for asking that questions. Post natively always. Natively, meaning post in the moment to the specific platform. There are programs that you can set it up and it posts into all those things, and it jeopardizes the amount of the audience that's going to see it, because Instagram, all those platforms have ID in those things. They know who's posting. And so if you post it, it goes a lot further than any of those platforms. I know it makes it easier, but get a content calendar. A way of making your life a lot easier, get a content calendar, which we're actually working on right now. I'm posting 5 days a week. I'm posting 5 reels a week. That's my goal. That's what we've been doing for the last month, and that's what I want to adhere to. But that's fine. If you're doing 15 videos in one day, right? And then do 15 videos in another day. And these are not long videos. These are like 10, 20-second videos. So get a content calendar. On Mondays is Informational Monday. On Tuesdays is Tip Tuesday. Figure out quirky ways of letting your audience also know what's coming, right? People love my on the street people things, right? Like they're silly, but they wake up people, it's like it breaks up the algorithm too. It breaks up all the boring stuff.
So you do one of those, like if you're doing people on the street and you've got 10 to 20 seconds to do it, it's basically like one person that you're...
Let me give you a tip. Figure out 2 or 3 questions that you're asking these people, and then do 4 or 5 interviews, because you might only use 2. Not everyone's quirky, not everyone's funny. You cannot have someone that's big, because no one's going to watch. So I would say what him and I do is that we'll interview 4 sets, right? And then ask like 2 to 3 questions. And then when you slice that video, right, do first question, that's one video. Second question, another video, third question. Because now you have different takes on the question. What we did at first, and we messed up, is that the first time I did that, we just did person 1, person 2, person 3, and then people knew what the questions were. So by the 3rd video, people already knew what the video was. So I would say do question 1, question 2, and it keeps things fun. It keeps things moving. It's also talk to the camera. I'm seeing a lot of these things where people are talking to someone on the side. No, you have to connect with your audience. In fact, the closer, I know it's really scary and it's scary for me, but the closer you are to the viewer, the more you trap them in. There's science around that. So I would say do videos looking at the camera, make them short, smile, have a personality, Don't do these boring videos.
Can you get people's permission in writing to
For what?
post their interview?
Well, they're willingly stopping. You guys are talking more about film stuff. If you're selling or it's going somewhere where they're going in perpetuity, you're going to be, other than that, then you're good. Okay, this is important. 80-20 rule. Don't just post real estate stuff. I cannot say that enough. People need to know who you are. People need to like you. Sirhan, in his first book, there's one line that has always stayed with me. People don't want to be sold. People want to go shopping with friends. Something you were saying before, you want to make everyone your friend, right? And so obviously there's degrees to this kind of stuff. And there's people that are more serious and that are more, open to having those like fun relationships. But you have to kind of toggle that in between. But don't just post real estate stuff. Post your dog, post this cafe that you went to. Like, your girlfriend's night out. That's another thing. I do a lot in the women's space. So women in investing is also so I talk about women in investing, and like a lot of my posts are me and my girlfriends doing fun things because that's also my niche. So figure out, again, it goes back to what your brand is and keep serving up that brand. Those are my personal posts. And then stories, go ham on stories. Post 15 stories a day. The more you post, the better. I know it sounds like a lot. And don't just post in real estate stuff in your stories, David.
Yeah. So when I do post a lot of stories, I notice that the first few stories get all the views, and it really trails out.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Bored.
Bored.
People are bored. You need to be fun. You need to be engaging.
I don't do a lot, okay?
I know. Yes, you do. You're friendly Honda, David. Okay? So give us friendly Honda Dave on stories. People do this whole thing on posts, and they're a whole different person in stories. Like, no, give people I want a linear progression of who you are.
Do you see, like, at the end of the day, like, your later stories are still getting good views?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the content you put out.
Yeah.
If you do more realistic content, I'll post stuff as late as 8 at night, and it will get a ton of views.
Yeah.
It's just depending on what you put out there.
And
it's
also,
always your face always wins. Talking to the camera always wins.
yes. Be fun, be engaging, be informative, have an opinion. Have an opinion about stuff.
You need to be yourself, but don't take yourself too seriously.
Don't take yourself too seriously. Stories are the perfect place. They disappear in 24 hours, so it doesn't matter.
And you can delete it right away, so you can
She knows she's posted. We've all posted questionable things. We're like, you know what? Let me delete it. So video ideas, community features. Go back to the community. I cannot say that enough. Do community, whatever that means to you. If it's let's say you play softball, feature the softball team, feature the kids playing softball. That might be tricky, not kids. But like anything that you like to do, you're going to find an audience that likes to do the same thing. So put that on your social media. Create content around that, right? I like wine. I like eating, all that kind of stuff. Who doesn't, right? So like, let's create content around that. There's a lot of people that connect with me because of that. In fact, I get DMs from people all over the US. Hey, I'm going to be in LA in a month. Where should I go to dinner? That's a thing.
So does he film you eating?
He hasn't. Not yet.
So did you just take the camera and you're like, I mean, I'm sorry, we just don't do any of the video content that we're supposed to, so.
Here's the thing. I feel like when people started first doing social media in the last 2 or 3 years, it was very mechanical, right? Do information, show us the houses, show us you as a human being. Except that that's not who they're going to see during the transaction. Show them the person they're going to see during the transaction. Show them the person they're going to want to work with. So if you're vegan, talk to me about this place that you went to that's vegan, that's great. Again, you're not shopping for a house, you're shopping for a community. We have to go back to that. Also, I'm a matchmaker. I'm like, you know what, you think that community is great, let me take you here. Do that for them and do that on social media. One of my brand stuff, it's funny because Mary and I are friends outside of, we work together. But I like dated this guy in Santa Monica for a little bit. And I talk so much crap about the West Side. It's like my funny way of being like, the West Side, no thank you, I'm an East Sider. In fact, I did a video where I asked people East Side or West Side. That was controversial. Anyway, so I posted like these videos of me in Santa Monica. And I got like 5 DMs. People were like, are you kidnapped? What are you doing on the West Side? What's happening? I thought that was the best endorsement that I was doing my brand right. Pick sides. It's fine. Take a stand on things. Be consistent. When you start, don't stop, because Instagram will penalize you for that too. That's another thing. If you stop for a while, my videos were getting 12, 15, 20,000 views consistently, no matter what I posted. I stopped for like 2 months. Now it's like I have to start all over again, because they reward you for people watching you, and then they hit you in the hand when you don't post, and now you have to start all over again. So I would say when you start, be consistent. If you say 3 videos a month, 3 videos a week, okay, 3 videos a week. And they don't just have to be your video. Another thing that's doing really well is like green screen. You found a really good article, look at the green screen and do the article and comment on it, right? Do a side-by-side, what is it called, remix, right? Like let's say someone else did a video that you really like. This is super silly, but it's like working. where you remix it, where you're just like that guy, like Dave Ramsey was like, who was like the most conservative finance guy ever, was like, go buy a house now. Like there's this whole video, and it went viral because a lot of realtors were like, that was a remix. Those videos, that person did nothing except look at the screen. So you can do tons of things like that, even though you're not creating your own content.
And as long as it's public content like that they posted, it's okay.
It's okay. If it's on the Instagrams, if it's on the ethers of the world, you can use it. And TikTok. I'm not into TikTok yet, you guys. I know it's important. It's a vacuum that sucks you in. So like, I'm definitely getting into the TikTok. The thing with TikTok is the same thing with Instagram. You have to be there all the time. You have to post so much on TikTok to get traction. And you have to be very careful how you operate on TikTok, because even if you just open a video that has nothing to do with what you do, what your circle does, it screws up your algorithm. So you have to be very pure to the niche. If you do real estate, only look at things that do real estate. If you do LA, only do things in LA, because it messes up the algorithm and what people see and what they don't see.
For ideas, I get all my ideas.
Yeah, and they start there for sure. Then transfer into Instagram. Another thing is, shoot a video and edit it and then post it into different platforms. Don't shoot it on TikTok and then try to post it on Instagram and vice versa, because both platforms are against each other and they will block the views.
They're more bare on Instagram, so what I do now is I just bait and switch it. I get my music in TikTok, extract it, delete the video, then I do it in CapCut, so that I'm not spending hours doing the music for every single.
Exactly. And it messes up, I don't know if you've noticed, but it messes up if, let's say you want to do those videos where there's a voice in behind and you like talk over it, it messes it up. Like there's no saving those. Like it's just off. And they do that on purpose because they don't want you getting off that platform.
Yeah, and Instagram now, if you download anything with their music, they leave the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep.
So when you go, so I saw this and I was like so concerned. So I had to put a short one, right? And it's the
On YouTube.
On YouTube, right? It's a copyright claim, so I'm really concerned. I got an email and it's just like, no, it's okay. It's just blocking a certain, like, so do you have to be concerned about that in any way, or?
What were you posting?
It was just the audio. So the audio on the short, when I posted it, it said like copyright claim.
Did you take it from Instagram or did you take it from?
Oh, I don't recall what platform.
So that's what it is. So you're going from one platform to another. They just say that to you to scare you. One thing that might be concerning, and this happens on Instagram all the time, happened to, I think, one of my videos where anyone can upload a sound, anyone. And then those take off and people start using it in different things. But let's say that sound belongs to an artist. The artist can get that removed, and now your video has no sound. It happens. Don't worry about it. That's like too technical. You guys already have too many things in your head not to do social media. You don't get hung up on the little things that do not matter. Just start, be creative, be fun, be you in every way. And let's say you're not sassy and witty or whatever, lean into art. Like I know a lot of people that have a beautiful aesthetic and just post really gorgeous architectural properties. You can stay true to that.
Any tips for lighting or looking amazing and being charismatic, aside from posting art and, if we're supposed to be our face?
Yeah.
I just don't
Be you.
necessarily
Be you.
character out of that day.
I would say natural light is the most important thing. You've got to have natural light. It was the most flattering. Use any other light, you have to, the lighting is key. And your voice is the two most important things. People can't hear you, what you're saying. So Mike, like he said, get a little mic. I got mine on Amazon for like $15. I should plug it in here. I have a tripod to go. And then just natural light, like the window's great.
And I keep my volume off because all the music drives me nuts. So I love when Dave has all the writing that goes along.
That's actually a very good point. Put writing on everything, because a lot of people don't listen. There's apps that do that. Yeah, there's apps that do that. Instagram does it for you if you just choose that option. Like she said, natural light is good. There's also a ring light. You can get one of those ring lights and you can control whether you want it more blue, whether you want it more yellow. Like it really, you can really see it in your face. A lot of that is just start playing with it and see what looks better. If one thing is just go shorter. If you think you want to go longer, go shorter, unless it's YouTube. Those are two very different things. Yes.
Do you use a microphone or you just talk straight in the
Microphone, for sure. Yes, microphone always actually.
It's on your phone.
If you're just, for stories, I would say if you're just talking to people, you don't need a microphone because it's instant. But anything that you're recording that you're going to edit and stuff like that, I would err in the side of caution and use a microphone. That's another thing. Call to actions are important. Don't just post things and hope people are going to reach out to you, because most of the time they don't. So one really good way of getting people to interact, for example, I'm starting to have monthly happy hour series. You've had these goals of buying for 3 years. You keep saying it, you keep putting it off next year. Okay, well, I'm starting these series. DM me the word invest if you want me to send you a personal invite. I got like 10 requests to send them over. My point is, if you ask them to do something and you tell them what it is you want them to do, they're more likely to do it than just DM you for no reason. Anything else? A lot of work to do? Great. And just reach out to me if you guys have any questions.